All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. A lot of craziness going on over the last 24 hours. NASDAQ broke all-time highs yesterday. And now it's since back down a little bit today. Mostly driven by earnings on Netflix. I don't know. Did we break all-time highs yesterday? I think we did, right? No, we didn't quite break it. Netflix is the reason that most of the market is down this morning. Netflix is diving down from the earnings. No, we didn't quite break all-time highs, actually. But yeah, Netflix down 4 to 5% in pre-market and after hours. Revenue did come in line for Netflix, but they reported a big EPS miss. They expected a 6 something or 7, and they showed 587. Now, they said the primary reason was a one-time $600 million plus tax charge related to a dispute in Brazil, which hit net profit and operating margins. We have Tesla earnings this evening as well, or this afternoon, I should say. We have Tesla earnings. This morning, we've got like Vertiv, GEV, AT&T. We've got CME, we got Moody's. Most of these are already out this morning. So, but what a crazy market right now. Bitcoin and crypto. If we take a look at Bitcoin and crypto here, guys, look at this. Gold all the way back down to 4,000. You know, again, it's not always the right time to buy it. But it was too extended. People were asking me why I didn't want to buy it. You know. Bitcoin dropped all the way to 107, up to 108 now, still down a little bit over the last 24 hours. If we take a look at yields this morning, assuming yields are going to be maybe up a little bit, they're still down. Okay, so yields are essentially unchanged since yesterday. I mean, they're down a little bit, actually. Here's yields. 10-year treasury yields at 9.51%, 9.51%. You can see they were a little bit higher yesterday, but we're basically right where we were. If you take a look at odds for rates, we are currently at about 97 to 3% likely of a rate cut next week. 25 basis point cut, that is. We'll see what happens. Yeah, gold had one of the largest one-day drops in a long time. So gold's feeling it this morning. It's down. Yeah, and I also woke up to another XFA in my Top Step account. So you love to see that. Yeah, we get CPI data Friday. CPI is scheduled for Friday. Yeah, I got an extra XFA today. So, you'll love to see it. Yeah, they basically said the AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. It's not even them, right? But they said today we want to help everyone get back on track. Free resets for all active accounts on the new dashboard and 40% off any trading combine. And I got and every XFA that was impacted, they gave me another one. You know, so you love to see it. All right, let's do a poll. The market's pretty close to all-time highs. Is the we could I'll give you two options. I'll let you guys pick on what the poll is. Do you guys want, will Netflix rebound today? Because Netflix is down 4 to 5% after bad earnings. If you look at Netflix right here on the bottom middle chart, look at this, down to 1150 from 1250. So Netflix is down pretty big percentages. That's like 7 or 8%, isn't it? So do you guys want that poll, or do you guys want a CPI data poll? Or we could just ask, will the NASDAQ break highs? What do you guys think? Let me know your poll options here today. What you guys think we should do for a poll? GoPro? Nice. Soldier. Yeah, man. They gave everybody, all the impacted XFAs, they gave them a new one. I'm going to go with, trying to figure out what to do with my poll option. I'm trading the micro NASDAQ, also probably some stocks. NASDAQ is slightly red on the day. If we take a look at like what's going on in markets right now, markets are wild. Netflix down 6 to 7%, bad Q3 earnings, missed expectations, EPS, basically $7 EPS expected. They should have 587. Way weaker than expected. They did decide a tax dispute as a margin drag. China overtook the US as Germany's largest trading partner in the first 8 months of 2025. This shift could signal global trade realignment and may amplify concerns around the US-China trade tensions. We also have China's exports to the U.S. remain resilient despite high U.S. tariffs, according to them, underscoring their bargaining power. Again, we had AT&T, Mattel, and other numbers this morning. Again, we still have delayed economic data. We do have CPI inflation on Friday, the day after tomorrow, so that's good. But yeah. Beyond Meat flying again this morning, man. Up to 7. Again, this is one of those things that might go, and then fall back down. I doubt this is ever going to hold, you know. But it might run up big until then. Jim Cramer says crypto's due for a push today, and Bitcoin is down. The government's closed. I don't think we have any economic data in general today because the government's closed. So we got CPI inflation on Friday, though. I'm excited about that. We finally got some economic data. The government's still closed. Day 22 of the government shutdown. At this point, it's projected to last 40 plus days. So we'll see. Sorry, I'm reading about all this different stuff. I'm trying to figure out a good poll. All right, guys. We're at 25 250s. Yeah, BYND is a little wild. All right, here's 250 right here. Let's see if 250 holds on the Nasdaq. Anyway, I'll do a poll. Are you bullish or bearish on the market today? We'll keep it simple. What do you guys think? We do have Tesla earnings this evening. All right, vote on that poll. Get Bitcoin down to 108, so it's not really looking great. BYND, a lot of people talking about it. Nvidia still around 180s. Rebounded a little bit after dropping deep at the open yesterday. It's kind of sitting there. Okay, so the U.S. Senate Minority Leader Schumer said Jeffries and I reached out to the president on Tuesday to sit down and negotiate. I'm hoping the market, yeah, and guys, I want you guys to understand, this is why, I've said it once, I'll say it again, this is why you do not gamble on earnings, right? It's dumb. I don't know who this is. Let me look this up real quick. Hold on. Somebody posted a Polymarket clip, and look at this. It said essentially this: will Netflix beat earnings? October 21st, 2025. Will Netflix beat earnings? 93% chance said yes. 93% of people said yes on that site. 93% of people said Netflix will beat their earnings report. Netflix is down 7 to 8%. This is the Netflix reaction to a big miss in EPS margins. Look at this drop. 7-8% drop. So what this shows you is nobody has any freaking idea what a company's going to do for their earnings report, especially not the market, apparently, because 93% chance. And this is why, like, you got to be smart, guys. You got to understand there's so much variance with earnings releases. Like, I've seen people that take big positions ahead of earnings releases and just hope to, like, run up a bunch of stuff. Like, it's dumb. Like, yeah, you might win, you might lose. It's just a gamble. Like, go play roulette or something, dude. Don't sit here and gamble on earnings. It makes no sense, to be honest. Yeah, BYND. Martin Shkreli started a tiny short on it after seeing negative gross margins 15 hours ago. I don't have anything against Martin Shkreli either. I'm not going to short BYND, but let him live his life. People gave him a hard time about the whole raising drug prices thing, but the reality of it is that he only raised it for insurance companies. I'm pretty sure he gave a lot of that stuff away for free to people who didn't have insurance, and the people that are making a big fuss about it were the insurance companies, and they just kind of turned everybody against them. Yeah, with all that said, I'm not shorting BYND right now. It's too squeezable. I'm not really trying to mess with that, you know. What's up, friends? What's up, Faye, Marco, Lee? Sell the news. Maybe Target keeps rising. I'm in Target right now. Target keeps rising. Good buy from the low to mid 80s. Yes, sir. You love to see it. You love to see it. That's what. Listen, there's a very easy strategy in markets. Find healthy companies that are beat the heck up. Very easy. You know, look for companies like the logic I use for it is I look for a company that's beat the heck up over the last 6 months. If it's beat the heck up over 3 or 4 years, I don't really want to buy it. But if it got really beat up over the last 6 months and it's down, extended in range on the downside, those are the companies where I'm like, okay, let me buy that company up. We did this with a bunch of different companies. You guys saw me. I basically tell you guys every time I do this. And I don't think I've lost money on any of them, really. Not really. I think I maybe one. But that's out of like 10 or 15 times doing this. And yeah, we're up really nicely on the year from this strategy. Now, if it was a bear market, it might be a different dynamic here, you know, and you have to look at that objectively. I don't think I can, you know, make the same amount of money if the market's trending down, but, you know, most of the time the market does trend up, and I think you can make money doing it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What is this Coors? Like Coors Light? I don't know, bro. Coors Light has been downtrending since 2016, brother. It was at 112 in 2016 and is now at $46. So that's like a freaking 9-year downtrend, bro. I'm not trying. No offense to Coors, it might go up. It might be extended. I don't really want to buy it. It's all love. Don't hate me because I don't like Coors here, but you know. But it's been downtrending since 2016. Yeah, if it pays dividends, maybe it's different. There's probably a different, you know. Hey, what's up, Lee? What companies look beat up right now? I don't know. I haven't really. I don't do it that often. And again, with all that said, I'm not an investment professional. Don't copy me. Half the time, I might not know what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Yeah, don't copy me. Understand all this stuff. You know? But yeah. There's some stocks that I just won't do that on, though. It needs to be like, most of the time for me, it needs to be like blue chip, large cap companies that everybody know, that I've heard of, that I know the company. You know, like an example, what I'm holding right now, I'm holding Home Depot, which is up a lot from where I bought it. I bought it at 380. It's at 390. That's what? A couple percent, you know, 2 point something percent. Not bad. I bought Hims, same concept. Bought it at 40. It's at 50 basically. I bought Coca-Cola, same concept, 66. It's at 71. Bought PayPal, same concept. Bought it at 68. It's at 69 or 70. But I did take profit in PayPal already a bunch, and I have a very small position left. Bought SoFi. I just like SoFi though. SoFi, I don't know if it was necessarily this. And I bought Target. I also did this with a handful of other companies. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, I did this with, where's the stock? I did it with this S&PS. I did this with Marvell, MRVL. I did this with Amazon. I did this with United Health. Is probably the one that made a lot of people here pay attention to it, because United Health, huge gains for that one. I got lucky with that one though. Warren Buffett announced he was buying it a week after I bought it, so I did it with Crocs, CROX. I'm out of those. The ones I'm talking about now, I'm out of. I scaled out of Hims. I think I'm in a very small position left. But I scaled out of Hims when it hit like 60s. And now I have like a very small position left. I'm just going to hold it indefinitely. Some of these, what I'll do is I'll buy them and then I'll sit on them. And then I'll sit on them longer term. But for like, there's some other ones that I just won't do this on. Yeah, BYND is kind of just a short squeeze, and so it's a momentum play. Nasdaq's still flushing down though, looking weak. Look at the Nasdaq break down here, guys. Nasdaq down to 25, 225s, 226s. I don't know. I definitely don't want to buy Whirlpool either, to be honest. To be honest, Whirlpool to me looks more like a failing company than a dip buy. And Whirlpool, what? Jacuzzi maker? Right? Most of the time people have like jacuzzi tubs in their bathroom now. And so they don't really need external jacuzzis because the bathrooms that they have include things like this in them now. And so I think they're losing business. I don't know though. Again, if it downtrends for 4 or 5 years, I don't really want to buy that because that means it might continue downtrending for 4 or 5 years, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like a 6-month dip, 7-month dip, 3-month dip, you know, but a big pullback. Oh, they make washer and dryers. That's right. I was thinking of yeah, I mean, I don't know that industry very well, to be honest. So maybe it succeeds, maybe it doesn't. It's just been downtrending for 4 or 5 years. Yeah, look at the Nasdaq breakdown though, and again, this is partly driven by Netflix here. Netflix down to 1150s. Honestly, I might buy Netflix. So expensive though is the problem, and it's not really dipping that much. Let me see, what's that now? It's at 1148. At the bottom of the range. It is Netflix too. Get into live sports. They're going to be successful long term regardless of this dip. Probably. Netflix just cracked lows 1147. I might buy this dip though, short term. I'm gonna buy a small position here. What happens? Take 2. It's a risky buy for sure, but you know, I think we're kind of extended a little bit. Okay, I'm going to cut half of this off. We retraced all the way back up there. So we're basically flat, but I don't want it to fill that candle. It looks like it's doing now. Yeah, I got to cut it. All right, so we're down 20 bucks, very small. I'm not going to risk too much here. I just wanted to see if it did a liquidity grab and come up to like 250. My risk reward is small. I'm using a risk level of about 220 here, with a reward target of like way up here. You know, see if it catches momentum. It's not going to work that often, but the risk reward's justifiable, I think. CPI inflation, it's expected at higher levels, so it's expected at 3.1% year over year for both core and regular CPI, headline CPI, right? So that's high. You know, it's both over 3% year over year. That's not good. I mean, we're probably going to cut rates. At this point, it's 97.3% likely we're going to cut rates. 25 next week. Yeah, we're still dropping. Again, this is partly driven by Netflix here. If you look at Netflix, Netflix is what sparked a lot of this downward pressure. We're down to 1150s this month. Yeah, we might get the late liquidity grab that I was looking for, but it's all right. We've been very green, man. Yeah, like this has been most of my trading lately. Like here's the graph since mid-September. We've been mostly having green days, right? Mostly having green days, but we're doing okay. If you look at my actual P&L here, we got a couple red days in there, but you know, we got mostly green here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green days. So that would be 9 out of 10, 11, 12, 13, 9 out of 14 green days. But you can see mostly green here. That's what we've been doing. This little guy's just today, so, but yeah, here's still breaking down here. Look at Nvidia. You could also, there's some other stocks that might be breaking down this morning. Google's up a little bit. Apple's down, and Apple's one of the reasons we're down today. Apple broke all-time highs a few days ago. Yeah, gold, guys. Gold is crazy. Honestly, gold with like a huge correction. It's still falling down. Look at gold fall this morning. Gold down to 4,000. Corrected big. It's like one of the largest drops in gold in a single 24-hour period. Gold's looking rough. And sometime today, I'm supposed to get this brace on my leg unlocked. I'm excited about it. I'm supposed to get this brace unlocked. Speaking of that, let me take this shoe off. All right. Given all you know and read, do you think we're going to see a correction, if not more, in January or further down the road? Hope you're recovering well. Hey, thank you, man. I think we certainly could. It doesn't mean we will. It's one of those things where you can make predictions based off of it, but you can't hold on to it too tightly. You know what I mean? Like, I think that one of the biggest problems in markets is that people hold on to predictions too tightly, and it sets them up for failure. Again, we talked about it earlier on Polymarket. 93% of people said Netflix yesterday was going to beat their earnings report. Netflix is down 6 to 7%, missed EPS wildly, but still 90+% of people held on to that sentiment of Netflix is going to beat. Netflix is now down big. And so it's fine to make predictions. It's fine to look at different outcomes. You can't hold on to that stuff too tightly, because that's what sets people up to really lose money. And so you got to just understand, like, yeah, we can look at probabilities. In terms of probabilities on whether the market corrects or crashes, you know, I don't think it's necessarily low. But you know, like I just said, it's not 100%. And so I'm cautious right now for sure. And I think a lot of people are cautious in terms of investing. But, you know, the people, if we do continue up, the people that buy things now, you know, are getting a big reward from it. Because if we continue up, we might go up big, but you never know. And it's a little bit sketchier right now, I think, just based off of all the stuff going on. Government shutdown, we got inflation over 3%, we've got rate cuts coming, recession odds potentially next year, and I think people are just nervous. Tech valuations being a little high. I think people are just nervous. Yeah, one of the reasons on why gold went down is One economist believed it was all because of the International Monetary Fund gathering last week. Robin Brooks at Brookings Institution said he thinks the flows driven the price of gold in a column on Substack. He concluded that last week's annual meeting of World Bank and IMF in Washington, D.C. persuaded many of the delegates to upgrade their view on America's growth cycle, removing one of the big pillars or big blocks in the recent investment case for gold. Again, NVIDIA, AMD, and Snowflake Databricks invest in Unifor Series F funding. Again, gold all the way down to 40,040. Yeah, CPI running. It's squeezing big. Again, it's not my style. Regardless of whether it goes up, it's just not my style. I don't like the company long term, and I'm not attacking you if you're in PYND. I am just have zero interest in buying that company as an investment long term. It's just not what I'm interested in. Still, it could squeeze big on the upside. It's a squeeze play, momentum play now. So just be careful if you're in it. You know, I hope you guys make money. It's not like I'm gonna short it or anything, but I'm not buying it. Yeah, Bitcoin down pretty significantly again this morning. But it kind of rebounded back up. So it opened up red, and now it's back up to 107s from 106s. GM saw a spike of over 14% yesterday. If you look at GM, went up big, up to 67.50s. Halliburton also saw a pretty big gain. There's still big tariff threats. President stated that the U.S. will proceed with plans to impose a 155% tariff on Chinese goods imported into the United States effective November 1st unless a favorable trade deal is reached. The president cited their long history of one-sided economic dealings and a recent hostile letter from Beijing as justification for this, which he framed as a tool for national security. Planned meeting between both leaders is now highly uncertain, apparently. Okay, so that they're now calling the current government shutdown the longest full shutdown in history. And so the longest shutdown record was 2018-2019 from December to January 25th, 2019, lasted 35 days. But it was a partial shutdown. Several major government departments like the Pentagon had already been funded. So the impact was limited to only about 25% of the government back in 2018 and 2019, apparently. The one in 95 to 96 was 21 days, which was previously the longest full shutdown. And then there's this one, which is the longest full shutdown now. It began without any of the 12 annual appropriation bills passing, meaning the curtailment of services and furloughs are far more extensive than 2018 and 2019. And I see people talking about this a lot now. I mean, we are in one of the longest shutdowns in history. Again, you guys know my stance. I'm just hoping they get a deal done. The president said we'll meet with the Dems, with the left when government is open. At what price would you consider buying HIMS? I'm in HIMS right now. But again, I am in HIMS. You got to understand this trade. I'm in it right now still. I'm not really worried about... I know it pulled back from like 65. It's at 50 now. So I know the percentage there is big. And I understand. But you also have to understand, like, I bought this at 40. Rode it up to 65, 60. Took a lot of profit off of it. And then now I'm holding a little bitty tiny piece in it. right? Now, maybe I'll add more. I don't know. It looks like an upward trend, but it's also a little riskier. It's a newer company. And so Hims is just a newer company that hasn't been around as long. I think it's a good idea. I like the idea of a company like that does this. It solves a problem. You know, they essentially ship things to your door that you don't want to go pick up in the store, and I understand that, and I think they solve a problem. It's a business. Short term, there might be risks though for this thing for sure. Hey, thank you, Smart Film, for the $10 donation. Good morning, John. I see Tesla failing to deliver today. I'm betting against it. Made a lot of money on BYD yesterday. Good luck. Just be careful betting against anything, bro. Earnings are different, man. I've covered them for years. You know, they're just different, brother. You know, the reason they're different is because a company can post good EPS, good revenue, good guidance, and drop 5%, or they can post bad revenue, bad EPS, bad guidance, and rip up 8% or whatever. And you don't really know what they're gonna do. You know, at this point in time, AI deciphers what's in their earnings report very quickly, interpreting anything that might be considered good or bad, and that's what sways the stock originally, and then there's a lot of movement. So just be careful. Taking big bets on potential outcome for earnings, again, is very risky, can be gamble, and just be careful. Thank you for the donation, though, brother. I hope I don't know. I hope you're wrong, to be honest, because, you know, I like Tesla, and I'm in Tesla in some of my portfolios, but good luck, bro. You know, I'm holding it long term, so what happens in this earnings report doesn't really matter. Hims. Yeah, all good, Ricky. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the donation. Or adding more is what I mean. I'm not adding more right now. Personally, I'm not telling you what to do. Again, I'm not an investment professional, not liable if you lose money. Make your own assessment, trade smart. I can't guarantee anything, but I'm not adding more right now. We'll see if it drops. Maybe if it drops more, if it drops down to like 40 again, I might add more, but I'm gonna wait. And again, with that said, I'm not telling you what to do. I have no idea what it's going to do. It's a new company, so it could contract heavily on some bad news or bad dynamics. So just, again, be careful. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. What about rare earths? Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of those rare earth companies correct. They went big, though, man. I mean, USAR down to 25s from 44. Yeah, we have Tesla earnings this evening. We got a bunch of big earnings reports that are already out this morning, though. We do have a lot of earnings that are already out today. Nothing big, but like we got some. Yeah, Netflix down 7-8%. Big miss. It's driving markets down for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to look to see lower producing. Let me check that article out, Pawn. I don't think I saw that one. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, Pawn sent me this article about why markets are gonna care about the end of the year tax harvesting. Yeah, just. All right, guys, so I'm looking at this. It says investors are beginning to focus more on calendar-driven effects like tax loss harvesting, year-end rebalancing more than pure fundamentals. Many high-flying stocks like Palantir, Robinhood that posted big year-to-date gains are now subject to increased scrutiny and potential corrections. The implication is that even in a strong market, seasonal and calendar-related risks, timing of tax moves, fund flows, window dressing, and more could drive volatility heading towards the end of the year. For traders and streamers, the story suggests watching calendar events and flows rather than only earnings and macro monetary stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. Santa rally. Bitcoin still down at 107s right now. Nasdaq's bouncing back up. I was looking for a bounce like this. It just happened a little bit later than I expected, to be honest. Right, so again, in the AM morning earnings, mostly beats with some small misses from AT&T missed EPS, missed revenue. Avery Dennison missed EPS, or BDPS missed revenue, and then Linux BDPS missed revenue. All right, Nasdaq coming right back down to test these lows. All right, guys. So yeah, we're checking other stuff. Hey, John, isn't the? Oh yeah, my bad. On the scroller at the bottom. You're right. There we go. I corrected it. Bitcoin 107. Government open is being anticipated. When? I don't think it looks like it's gonna. I mean, I think there's pressure. CPI is Friday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I think there's pressure to reopen. But I don't think it's likely that we're going to reopen anytime soon. Oh, man. BYND flying. Gold down. Nasdaq down. Netflix down. Apple is down. Nvidia's down. Look at Netflix, though, man. Is it worth buying the dip here? I'm really considering buying Netflix. I gotta see how, like... Hit the like button. Convince us not to fear sell what? Interactive brokers. No. Yeah, it's a wild market right now. We've done pretty good trading though in this mess. So we have done pretty well trading. Volkswagen says to halt VW Golf production from Wednesday due to chip supply issues. Yeah, we don't have any economic data that I'm seeing for today here. Tuesday we had Canadian CPI. We had 30-year mortgage rates show up at 6.37% this morning for NBA 30-year mortgage rates. So NBA 30-year mortgage rates were down to 6.37. Still nothing coming on, man. Again, we got CPI Friday. That's the big story of the week. Meta says cutting roughly 600 positions out of the several thousand roles within Meta's superintelligence lab, according to Axios. Meta's down this morning. We did get a little pop back up. And see, remember this morning I talked about I wanted 250. I thought we could rebound to 250. I ended up buying here, and we ended up dipping down to here. But look at exactly where we go is 250. Get your minds out the gutter, guys. But we're up to 250 here. That's why I wanted it as a rebound to it. I think like a big whole dollar level is just a natural pivot point, I think. You think CPI is going to have a bigger move due to the delay? Yes. I think CPI is going to be more influential than it normally is because we haven't seen it in a month and a half. Gold bouncing back up? Yeah, a little bit. But I would say it's not going to go straight down. Gold has done this morning. So, I mean, I think if you asked anybody, where's gold going now? A lot of people are going to predict it's going to continue in that downward range that we're in. Does Tesla beat or miss earnings? Looking at our poll numbers, we're 51 bull, 49% bear. Again, Meta cutting several hundred roles from its AI unit. The Fed floats plans with much smaller capital hikes for big banks. What a day. Interesting movement here for sure. I don't know if I'm confident enough to take any of these positions, but yeah, so essentially the Fed Yeah, so what Bloomberg is talking about is Basel III Endgame, which is a big overhaul of major bank capital regulation. Michael Barr indicates in Bloomberg that regulators have agreed to make broad and material changes to the proposals, significantly reducing the financial burden on the biggest banks. Might give some lending relief, notably mortgage lending with lower loan-to-value ratios. Mild CPI, I'm thinking. I mean, I think regardless of what CPI shows up as, we're going to cut rates 25 basis points next Wednesday, most likely. I'm not 100% sure, of course. Nothing's 100%, but that's what I think. I think regardless, we're going to cut rates. No, we're not doing 50. The only way we do 50 is if inflation came in way lower. right? Like, and I still don't think we do 50 next meeting. I think we're gonna do 25, 25, 25. I think we did 25 last month, 25 this month, 25 in December, and I think that's probably what we're gonna do. You never know for sure, but I think that's probably what we're gonna do. What do you guys think? How many times do we cut this year and by how much? Crypto.com offers up to 5% with their new program. Will rate cut improve market numbers? Maybe. 2 more? Yeah, I agree. I think 2 more this year. 25, 25, 25 is what we're going to do this year. I think another fire sale for rare earths. Reality is setting in just how much people... Yeah, maybe. Dollar index up to 99s right now. 99s. Nasdaq back up to 250s. I don't know what I want to do. I guess I can try to short this. I like the level. I'll try. But we'll give it a second here. Definitely a risky dynamic. Try to show you guys which one. We're at a 250 right now. We just pushed underneath it. Let's see if we drop. There we go. A little bit more here. Let's take a piece off right there. There we go. Another piece off down there. Another piece off right there. Let the rest sit. See if we get a bigger rejection at 250 like I thought. Now we can hold the rest pretty break even. Yeah, we're getting interesting movement. BYND. Yeah, BYND's been wild. I'm gonna try to give this a little bit longer breakdown to maybe 240s. Let a battle 250 and cut it if it breaks over it, but you gotta give it time. I can't even eat a donut without getting sick anymore, unfortunately. Here we go. We're still breaking down here. It looks good. Let's see if we drop a little bit more. Go. Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing. Like if I'm down big in a position and we start to rebound back up to like a neutral level, I'll liquidate some of it. and just get out flat versus holding onto that risk and hoping it continues higher. I've never been like gambly in that way where like I'd rather eliminate risk versus adding more or whatever at those moments. Like I'd rather just get out early and give it a little bit more room. I notice if I lower my size, I'm able to hold it longer. Yeah, I mean, BYND, it might continue up. I don't know. It's a crazy move, though. But what I know is long-term, it ain't holding. There's not enough customers that are interested in buying Beyond Meat. There just isn't. Vegans, super health conscious. They're not really going to experiment with that stuff, honestly. And so you've got this weird, like, group of people that might buy it. But I don't think that customer base is big enough to prop it up as like some big public company. I don't think enough people want to eat it. Personally. Same thing with Impossible. I think they might eat it once to try it, and that's cool, but that's not going to sustain their business. No. Alright, we're trying to get over 250. I don't really like the way this looks either. So I will cut this pretty quickly. It doesn't reject fast here. Fast rejection, that's good, but Krispy Kreme, you got to get them fresh out the oven. If you get a Krispy Kreme fresh out the oven, it's like the best donut you ever had, you know? It like melts in your mouth if you get it right outside the oven. Outside of that, they're not, you know, they're okay cold. They're really good warm. And I am going to cut this break even right here. I'm green on this account, by the way. If it ends up rejecting, maybe I'll buy it, short it again, but that I'll just wait. All right, so gold is down 8% over the last 2 days, erasing 2.5 trillion worth of market cap. It's on track for its largest two-day drop since 2013 for gold. Yeah, we used to have one in Louisiana about where I used to live. Again, the president yesterday announced tariffs on China will be 155% starting November 1st. Yeah, Netflix, one of the big stories of the day. 11:46. Let's see what the odds are for the government shutdown ending. What are we at now? 41? What's the last time I looked at it? Where's the government shutdown? Come on. Care about pro football. I mean, I care about pro football, but not these odds. How long will the shutdown last? Right now it's at 41.3 days. It's back up. It was all the way down to 31. They thought it might end by Halloween. It's not looking like that's the case. Netflix dragging markets down. Beyond Meat up big this morning. How long will the government shutdown last? Let me know in chat right now. How long will this government shutdown continue? What do you guys think? As of Kalshi, 72% of people have it more than 35 days. Polymarket has it. 3% think it's going to end by Thursday. 23% think it's going to end before October 31st. 57% think it's going to be until November 15th, which would make it 46 days. I think. No, yeah, there's 31 days in October. That'd be 31 plus 15, which would be 46 days. 56% of people in Poly Market think it's going to be 46 days. Which obviously, I mean, anything past November 4th is the longest shutdown in history. They're already calling it, again, I talked about this morning, they're already calling it the longest shutdown, the longest full shutdown in history. The reason they're calling it that is because the previous longest shutdown, again, I went over this earlier, the previous longest shutdown was 35 days, but it was a partial shutdown because remember, this happened between December and January. And so several major government departments like the Pentagon and all this other stuff had already been funded at this point in time. And so the impact was limited to only about 25% of the government was shut down in the previous one. This one's different. The one that we're in now, this one, they didn't get a deal done before October 1st. And so this is now in what they're effectively calling it the longest full shutdown in history. It began without any of the 12 annual appropriation bills being passed, meaning the curtailment of services and furloughs are far more extensive than the previous one in 2018 and 2019, even though the previous one was 35 days. We're now at 22 days here. Some people are saying December, November 15, November, New Year, Thanksgiving, 3 years. Sometime before Thanksgiving. Honestly, don't think the current admin is in a rush to open it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they are either, but I think at this point in time, and again, I'm not being political. This is just from my understanding. And again, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm open into hearing it. But from my understanding, the right just wants a CR to open the government back up. The left wants ACA subsidies, like expansion of ACA subsidies. Is from my understanding what's going on. Now, I could be wrong. I don't follow politics that much, but I'm watching it just because it's affecting markets. But that's my understanding of it. I might be wrong. I don't freaking know, man. I think if the right is causing problems, it's in that they're basically not willing to negotiate. Again, I'm not saying that's true. I'm just kind of looking at both sides objectively as I can. Anyways, NASDAQ pushing up here. NASDAQ up to 260s. Yeah, I think they're going to want to get the SNAP benefits. They're going to want to get the WIC benefits done. Those are going to start running out if they don't get something done for that as well, you know? Morgan Stanley sees the dollar weakening on rate cut outlooks. The U.S. just bought India's foreign policy with tariff cuts, trade deal. Yeah, Netflix missed big, man. Yeah, I mean, it's all political theater. All of politics is theater. And again, like I've said it once, I'll say it again. I don't root for either side. I really genuinely don't. I don't like either side. I think when you get to the top, it's all the same anyway. And I'm not really, and I think they do a really good job of getting people upset. They get people wrapped into it. They get people rooting for one side like it's their football team. And like, I am just kind of, I care about it if it moves markets. I care about policies. And I agree with both sides in terms of different policies, but I'm just not, I got other stuff to do. I don't really want to mess with politics that much. I cover it here because it's relevant to markets as much as I can. You know what I mean? But yeah. All right, so Greer is speaking right now, apparently. Trade rep Greer. He said U.S. controls only high-end exports. He said there's a good landing zone where we can be more balanced regarding the China trade. He's on CNBC right now. He said rare earths move was totally disproportionate. Again, this is Greer speaking, not me. He said China's move on rare earths was, quote, aggressive. Totally disproportionate, he says. On China trade, and he said spot for the president and President Xi to meeting on schedule. Makes sense to talk, but we'll see. Besson and I will meet with the Chinese in Malaysia to see if room to move forward. So he's basically confirming that the president and the Chinese leader will meet. He said, U.S. Trade Representative Greer on China trade says, quote, we don't want countries to use U.S. products to get competitive edge. Everybody getting all upset about the AWS problems like it had anything to do with anybody. Like, come on now. U.S. MBA mortgage applications showed up at negative 0.3%. Mortgage rate showed up at 6.37%. Spot gold all the way down to basically 4,000. Let's watch 250 now and see what happens. Yeah, again, like I said, I'm pretty neutral politically. I'm not against anybody or anything really. I go by policy. Well, they released the next jobs report during the government shutdown. Is what there's another betting poll. 8% chance of yes. It was up 30, so earlier this month. John for president? Yeah, you know. I would honestly, realistically, I wouldn't want to be. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there might. Remember, the deadline with China was supposed to be November. So, President or U.S. Trade Rep Greer on China trade says that the president will raise agriculture with them. So again, Greer speaking right now. We're covering what he's saying. It's not really moving markets though, but maybe a little bit. Look at yields this morning. Our yields are down a little bit as well. Yeah, we're watching Netflix today. We got Tesla earnings this evening. We're gonna cover also. Greer on beef in Argentina says, I do not see tons of beef flooding U.S. markets. Greer also said the president and President Xi have a great relationship. I don't know. Gold, it's interesting. Gold all the way down to almost 4,000. We're bouncing up. We're at 250s now. 250s. All right. Wait. Okay. And here's gold. Gold at 40,050. Question is, does it keep bouncing back, or does 4,000 hold support for gold? Here, where's the beef? Yeah. Yeah, gold really around 4,000. I don't know if it's going to hold or not. NASDAQ bouncing around that 250 level. NVIDIA's choppy and flat. Market's kind of in this big unknown period. They don't know what we're going to get. Still waiting for the government to resume. At the very least, we got CPI. All right, so Greer on China trade rare earths says have other deals coming up with other countries, according to CNBC. Beyond Meat's not propping the market up. The market doesn't care what Beyond Meat does. I mean, some people care what it does, but it's not holding up blue chips or anything. Like, it's not holding up futures. You know? Beyond Meat is again. I'm not gonna hate on Beyond Meat. I just don't think it's gonna succeed long term as a company. Short term, it might do anything, but it went up to 880s though. I kind of want to short this right now. I'll try to short it. It's a risky thing, but we'll add 2 right here and see what happens. We're already green. Is there 8:30 news? No. Government's closed. So unless we're going to get like some other form of news that's non-government related, government's closed. We're not getting anything. You know, we don't get anything until the government resumes outside of like CPI as of now. They might change this. Maybe they'll bring it back. All right, we're in 4 contracts here. I like it because we're close to the 200 exponential. I want to see if that level rips it away, but here's 830. Anybody else shorting gold? I'm not shorting gold right now. Maybe under 4,000. I'm still not going to short it. But good luck, sir. Hope you make some money. So mad you don't like Tap and Whirlpool? I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, dude. Look, again, one of the conditions I have with my swing trades is I will not buy a company that's been downtrending for over 3 years. There's too much risk in that. You know, it could just be a failing company and might never bounce. Like the dip might continue. And so because of that, I'm just not really interested in buying up companies that are downtrending for years. It's just maybe 1 year is probably my limit. If it's been downtrending for over a year or 2, I'm just not going to mess. There we go. We're going to take some off here. Lock all this in. There we go. Love to see it. There we go. You love to see it. There's 830. Again, we don't really have any data coming out. Algorithms. I might just cover this here if I can. Go. Yeah, I mean, I'm shorting the NASDAQ right here. Let's see it. Yeah, we'll cut it. All right. Nice little trade. Again, what I really like around the 200 exponential or the VWAP is kind of like, it's not a cup and handle, but it's when we move over it, come back down, and then retest it. I like this retest right here. A lot of the time we're going to reject back down. No, I haven't even pulled up my algorithms. I mean, I can pull it up now. But no, this is just my own trades. Uh, Gotta love this algorithm, though. I should use this thing more. I don't even pull it up, but when I pulled it up a second ago, like, look. I really should use this more. Like, look at my algorithm here. For here, that worked. This one worked. This one worked. This one probably worked, depending on where you'd set your stop loss. This one definitely worked. Literally called the top. This is the bottom. This is the top. This one, you could probably say this one didn't work. That's only one out of, what, 5 or 6? Look at that one. Literally right at the bottom. Look at that one. Literally right at the top. Look at that one. Literally right at the bottom. I should use my algorithm more. I genuinely should. Top. Top. What is that? 1 out of, like, 9? Just now that didn't work? You love to see it. I should use it more, honestly. I forget to pull it up. There's Netflix trying at 11:44s. Look at this rip up. This looks news related potentially though. The Archer innovation. Trade Representative Greer said we're focused on getting rare earth capacity in the U.S. reactivated. He said we have other deals coming up with other countries on trade deals and rare earths. We are diversifying sourcing of rare earths, and that the president and the Chinese president have a great relationship. He said the president will raise agriculture with them. We frequently talk with China about soybeans. We don't want countries to use U.S. products to get a competitive edge. All right, so we got a report that says Bank of America Security said clients are starting to sell stocks again after buying the dip. It says that they said clients resumed selling U.S. stocks last week after briefly, quote, buying the dip led by institutions and hedge fund outflows. Despite a 1.7% gain in the S&P, 2.1 billion in single stock outflows outweighed 1.2 billion of ETF inflows. Institutions who were big buyers the week before became the largest sellers, while hedge funds extended their selling streak to 6 weeks. Retail investors kept buying, focusing on mid-cap stocks. Yeah, and again, Netflix dragging the market down. Did really bad for earnings. Came all the way back down. I was thinking about buying the dip in Netflix, but it's still a little maybe early. Greer done speaking. Let him drop. Nasdaq sideways. Nvidia rebounded back up. It's at 181.40s. Gold back up to 4,062. Netflix still at 11.47s. We're still trying here, guys. We're still trying. You guys red or green so far today? Again, we asked people, are you bullish or bearish today? 52% are bullish, 48% are bearish. I tend to be bullish, but we could also get a continuation of the momentum here. All right, guys. This is a semi-rigid ankle brace. Nasdaq still rejecting there, that 200 exponential. Pretty red, greenish green. How can you say you are a day trader, but you missed the Beyond Meat pump? Shake my head. Because I'm not a gambler, brother. I'm not a gambler, my friend. Like, I don't like, if the whole market's fixating on a penny stock that probably isn't gonna hold. Everybody, like, everybody has different strokes, you know. Like, I don't need to trade Beyond Meat. It's just not my style. Like, I don't want to trade a penny stock that's up freaking 500% right now. You think that's a good time to buy it? Of course not. Maybe it continues up. Maybe it dumps down 50% while you're in it, and you lose half of everything you put in it. Okay? You don't have to buy that stuff. And again, just because you could make money doesn't mean you have to. That's a gambler's mentality, sir. I think a lot of people day trading are just justifying gambling. You know? I think that if they weren't day trading, they'd be putting it all on red and roulette. And they're doing it to feel the rush instead of doing it to try to actually make money a lot of the time. It's really prevalent in, like, options, penny stocks, you know. And the problem is that people market penny stocks like they're some super profitable endeavor a lot of the time. You know, penny stock gurus sell courses on it. They act like it's easy. They give you a list of 5 different penny stocks. If one of them runs up 400%, they hyper focus on that. The other ones might have crashed down 80%, but they're not going to mention those. They're just going to mention the one that does well, and they're going to act like they're rich, and they're going to talk about millionaire students, and they're going to talk the gullible into falling for it. And so you might be able to make money on BYND. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean you should. It doesn't mean that it's easy. And you can look at it in hindsight if you did make money and be like, oh, that's easy, or there's no risk. But not for me, brother. Not for me. Oh, this is a good conversation to have anyway. I think it's important. Love it. Love it. Is that my tie? I don't wear ties. So the last time I wore that tie was probably when I was, like, young. Right. You're a tie connoisseur. Yeah, I see it. Ooh, nice. I love you. Okay. No. You're supposed to kind of look stupid, though. Yeah. It is. You look great. You look great. I love you. It looks good. It's a little loose if you want to be technical with it. But you're right, you're horsing around. Yeah, no, I'm not judging you. They can't find out? Okay. Fair. I love you. Have a good day. Hey, what's up, chat? Hey, good morning. What's up, Chef? E, Goose, Andy. Yeah, dude, everybody else just feeds you hype, get you excited. You know, I'm gonna just be real. It depends on what you define as gambling, Cyclone. I'm not mad at you. Listen, if you made money on BYND, great. I'm not gonna short BYND, that's for sure. I'm just not gonna buy it, you know. What's up, homie? How you doing, dude? Love you, bro. Have a good day at school, man. You look cool, dude. You look cool, man. No. Hey, thank you, Z. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. I think Bitcoin will hit 112. Bitcoin's down a little bit. Market's flat and sideways. Yeah, like something that rookie traders, Did you really? I mean, yeah. Like, the reality of it is something that will show that you're kind of a new trader. Everybody doesn't have to trade the same. You can make money doing penny stocks. And listen, I'm sure there's some people that could do it. I don't think it's a very high percentage of people. But I think that's the whole of day trading. Is most people can't. Most people aren't going to do this successfully. Right? Let's just be real. But everybody doesn't have to trade with you as well. You know? People just get so emotional about it. And it's okay. Trading can be an emotional thing. I get it. This is coming from the top 3 most emotional person ever. You know? Remember the great words of Michael Scott here. You know? Fool me once, strike 1. Fool me twice, strike 3. Michael Scott. Apply digital? Is it moving? Oh, I did say have a good day. I don't think I said good day, sir, but I did say have a good day. Yeah. My family's an Office family. We watch it. Like, that's like our bedtime show. If we put on a show when we're all falling asleep, it's The Office. Anyways, Nasdaq's retesting that 200 exponential. We've mostly been flat here, though, guys. Like, we haven't really been doing anything. We're just kind of chopping sideways, neutral. Yeah, and it depends on what you call gambling, right? If you call gambling risking money, then that's what everybody's doing. You know, if gambling is just taking risk, then everybody gambles in everyday life pretty regularly. If you classify gambling of risking money with unfavorable odds or risking money chasing a rush, then it depends on the trader. Yeah. Will we get CPI? Yes. CPI comes out Friday. They've brought back some of the furloughed workers to specifically release CPI. It doesn't really have, they say it doesn't have much to do with the Fed meeting next Wednesday. What they blame it on is they're saying it is to give the updates to Social Security that they need. You know, the updates to Social Security need to happen. They have to happen. And so in order to gauge inflation in that context, they brought people back to release it. This Friday, October 24th at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We will cover it as we always do and break down the report, break down everything. We'll have thousands of people here for this report. It might have more influence than it normally does just because we haven't gotten it in so long. No, I mean, listen, if you want to jump in, I'm not mad if you make, I hope you guys make money. It's not like I'm shorting Beyond Meat. I don't like the company long term, you know. But listen, ride the momentum. I'm not mad at it. Just don't get mad at me if I don't want to take it, you know. Again, there's a very famous quote. I don't remember who said it. Was it? Now I gotta look it up because I never know. Charlie Munger says the big money is not buying. Or what does he say? He says the big money is not the buying or selling, but in the waiting. You know? And I agree. Like, I just wait for what everybody has different personalities. I just wait for what works for mine. And what works for mine is day trading trends. Swing trading discounts. You know, buying big pullbacks and then riding the rebound of healthy blue chip companies. I don't really mess with penny stocks. I've had my day trading penny stocks when I first got started trading. I went and saw the movie The Big Short. And when I got back from seeing that movie, I was all into the stock market. I was like, ooh, I'm going to be rich, you know. So I started researching day trading, and what popped up, penny stock gurus pumping out, you know, ooh. Most of the time what the penny stock gurus are actually doing is they're front loading. They're buying it early. They're announcing to all their followers that they're buying it. They're pumping the stock up, and then they're liquidating all of it at the top and leaving half of their followers just holding the massive crash that ends up coming back down. A lot of them are doing it. They're front loading. And you know, then they're selling courses on how to profit from it, where the people buying the courses are oblivious to the fact that they don't have that much sway. They're not going to be able to do it like that, you know? And so they just get stuck and they lose a bunch of money and they pay thousands of dollars for nonsense. And again, I never paid for a course, you know? I grew up in the Napster days, you know? Never paid for one course in day trading. Because I don't have time for that. But, yeah. I'm just not interested in trading penny stocks. I don't care how big the run is. I don't care what the momentum looks like. I don't care what the stock looks like. I'm just not trading penny stocks. Y'all can do it, you know? Live your life. Make your money. I'm sure some people do it well. I did the same thing with UNH. I got out of UNH like 2 weeks later. But I bought it at I bought UNH. Where did I buy it? I bought it at like 240. And then I sold it at like 320 or something like that. And so I didn't hold it very long. I bought it at like 240, sold at 320. Very big percentage short term in 2 weeks. Again, I got lucky. Warren Buffett announced he bought it a week after I bought it or something like that. So, you know. Yeah, TopStep gave me a free XFA this morning. Shout out to TopStep. Again, if you want to check them out, great way to help support the channel. I told you they would make it right. Again, it wasn't even... Amazon Web Services had issues, you know. But again, if you want to check them out, I'll put the link up. They're a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased, of course, because I get paid by them. But they're genuinely useful for traders. Allows people to get started for 50 bucks. If you pass the test, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split it. And there is an activation fee if you pass it. But if you fail it, you lose 50 bucks. You pass it, 50K funded account, 90% split. Even if you include the activation fee, you're still getting 10 to 1 on your money in terms of drawdown. And so it just makes sense for traders. They pay out millions, fund thousands, have some of the most reliable payouts in the game. And I'll put the link up if you want to help support the channel. Genuinely useful. Genuinely useful. I'm still waiting for the S&P to break out of this little range it's been in for the last 30 minutes or so. Here's the link if you want to check it out. I'll put it to the top of the chat as well. For me, I love watching and listening to people who have different opinion to me. Makes you strong. Yeah, 100%. You got to be open-minded in life. No, UNH is not a penny stock. And again, if you see me buy a swing trade, it's never a penny stock. You know? So, like, if you see me buy any, like, again, the strategy I use, I've been very open about this strategy. And again, you guys know, anybody that watches the stream understands that most of these swing trades that I get in, I've made good percentage gains on it. Like, good percentage gains. But the strategy is simple. A lot of the time I target it during earnings season. It's why I was thinking about buying Netflix right here, because Netflix is down 7-8%. But I look for healthy companies that people overreact to. And Netflix might fall into that category. The only problem is Netflix is up a lot, but Netflix is down because of a one-time tax that it got. Was it Brazil or something like that? And so now it's down 6 or 7, 8%. Maybe there's an argument for a dip buy there. I don't know if I'm going to do it with Netflix. It's just something I don't like about it. Maybe it's the current market context. But usually I look for healthy, blue chip, well-known companies that I know. I look for them to drop, 5, 10, 15, 20% from earnings or from some type of overreaction to a catalyst. I usually buy that dip. A lot of the time by the next morning or the next week, stocks filled at least some of the gap, 20%, 30% of the gap, and I'm able to get a really cheap price. And then sometimes I hold it long term. If it bounces that quickly, I usually take a lot of it off and then maybe leave a little bit for longer term movements. That has done me really well this year. This market's a little different. We've got crazy high valuations. And again, I look at gold coming back down, guys. So gold is now dropping. It's now under 40.50 on gold futures. The other thing is, like, it can't be downtrending for longer than 6 months to a year. If it's downtrending for 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 years, I'm not buying that. That might be just a failing company, you know, obsolete company, something that's going on. But yeah. Lagarde speaking right now regarding European trade and stuff, but I'm not saying a course is a scam. I'm sure there's pretty good courses. What I'm saying is that the people that try to wrap you up in like a $5,000 mentorship program, come on now, you know. Most people are not going to fall for it. You get 10% of people that fall for it, they're still going to do really well doing that. And like I always told people, I'm not going to ever sell a course or a service. I don't even claim to be a good trader. That's not what we do here. We just kind of give free economic data, market news, and trading for free. I backed myself into a corner. I couldn't sell a course if I wanted to. I'd get so much heat if I tried. I'm just not even going to try. But it's not just this chat. It's mostly all of them. Dream. Essentially, YouTube changed it to where it's now your @ handle, because what was happening is that people would pretend to be public figures, and some people would fall for it, right? It would be essentially like if I changed my username to Elon Musk and then pretended to be Elon Musk, you know. The way it really happens is they send you to WhatsApp or Telegram, and then they pretend that they're going to earn you big money, and they see who's dumb enough to send them money. And then they tell you you're up big on your money, but you just got to pay taxes to get it out. And then, you know, you end up sending them more money, and then you never see any of it again. A lot of it's through crypto. That's how the scammers get you. And so now they just changed it to where it's your @ handle. The best investment strategy? I mean, the best investment strategy, again, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. It depends on your risk tolerance. If you have a lot of experiences in trading, you can handpick stocks if you want. And you need to stick with mid caps and blue chips. Mid caps are risky, though. Really, I would just keep it much simpler and just dollar cost average into indexes long term. You're almost certain to make money. Again, I'll show you guys why. And I do this a little bit, like, pretty regularly, but look, so say you got $100,000. And let's say that 100K is stuck into an index fund over time. You're going to average, let's call it 8%, which is a pretty reasonable expectation. You know, like last year, the S&P did what, 50%? NASDAQ did 50+% last year. But including crashes, it averages about 8%. So if you do this over a 30-year period, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Over a 30-year period, that's going to turn into about $1.1 million. 100K. You know? And so, and it's much more passive. You know, real estate, you can earn maybe 11 and 12% if you're good at it. But it's not passive at all. So, like real estate, you're going to have to deal with tenants. You're going to have to deal with problems. You're going to have to deal with property managers. You're going to have to deal with repairs. You're going to have to deal with all this different stuff. If you do it right, you can earn, 11, 12% in real estate. And so there's some, but it's not passive. A lot of people choose to stick their money into stocks instead, or indexes. And again, if you do it right and you dollar cost average, you're pretty freaking likely to make money long term. Big percentage gains. That's the easiest money in markets. Short term is risky with anything. Over 10 years at 8%. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 years, you should be up over 100%. If you calculate inflation into this, let's call this 216. let's say you have 3% inflation on average a year, which is about what it is now. It's still gonna make you about 60 grand or more, you know, which in this context would be about 60% after inflation, you know. So it's still gonna make you money. All right, so the president and Putin meeting was canceled, and now there's apparently strikes overseas. All right, so Tesla Q3 earnings today. Hey, thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, the algorithms have gotten pretty good. They really have gotten pretty good. The question is there going to be real trading in 10 years? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's what I figured. That's why I included inflation. We're not going to deflate, you know, in 10 years. Not unless we enter like a deep recession or something. Would you still have a channel if you can't trade? By the time manual trading is completely gone, I'm going to be sipping margaritas on a beach, sir. You know. Top 3 margarita sippers ever. Yeah, Bitcoin down, gold down. Bitcoin's still back to 108. It's not, it closed at 111, so it's still down pretty significantly on the day, but all right, guys. Big earnings day. It's now 9 a.m. We got 30 minutes until the market opens. Ugh. Tesla earnings today. I forgot about Tesla earnings. We do have Tesla earnings today. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is just, it's holding. It's definitely a scary market right now. Yeah, I'm watching government shutdown news pretty closely. The odds just decreased a little bit from 43 to 40 days. Bring back my economic data, guys. Government. Figure it out. Both sides. Y'all figure this out here. You know? Like, figure it out. Hey, John, I thought you lived in Houston? I do. I live in Houston. I'm Houston-ish. I'm not in Houston, the city. That's just stressful to live in the city. No offense. I love Houston. I'm bummed the Astros didn't make it, but I live in the burbs. Yeah, it's Central Time. I get up at 5:30 in the morning Central Time, which is 6:30 market time. And if you look at even if you look at my charts here, like, look, Bitcoin, here's 8 a.m. I don't know if y'all can see that. This is 8 a.m. right here. So, like, even my charts are central. Gold back up to 4064s. It's still right around that 200 exponential. This is why I watch the 200 EMA on a 1-minute chart. For some reason, the market just respects it. But we're kind of chopping sideways. We're not really doing anything. We haven't really been doing anything for a while now. Again, if you look at yields are up a little bit today, I think, but they're down. They're very clearly down net. I think it bounced a little bit this morning. Yeah, so yields are going up a little bit this morning. Look at this. Yields are increasing right now. As of 9 a.m. this morning. Good yields. 3.97% basically right now. I'm not rich, Dream. I mean, I'm not gonna go too specific. I do okay. Yeah, yields are up. Rate odds. Yields are up. I'm assuming rate odds are down. 96.7%. All right, guys, we're going to be day trading the market open in 25 minutes. Hopefully we get something good. Gold ripping back up. Look at it. Gold up to 40.77, 40.78 for gold futures. You can see this top middle chart here. Today, long or short? I don't know, dude. Is it? Which one is it? I really don't know. Long or short, chat? Let me know in chat right now. Today's Tesla earnings day. I haven't traded since we started chopping, but gold is flying up right now. Look at gold. Gold's making some movements. What do we have next week? We're supposed to get GDP next week and PCE inflation next week, but that ain't happening right now. We got Case-Shiller. I don't know if Case-Shiller comes out. Does durable goods come out when the government shut down? Gold still up to 4,081 in gold futures. GC gold futures. Yeah, I've heard a couple different people mention Applied Digital. It's up a little bit today. Yeah, durable good orders will typically be suspended. It's done by the U.S. Census Bureau. So it's probably not coming out, what I'm showing. Longest short. Yeah, I'm closer to spring. Really, I live in the Woodlands, Texas. And again, my issue with the Woodlands, it's a really nice city. Don't get me wrong. I like it. But my tax dollars are getting wasted on horseback riding cops. And I don't appreciate it. Those cops are not catching anything, dude. They're just a look Texan, you know? Huge horses, too. But those cops are just, like, we got, like, I don't know how many cops that just ride around this city on freaking horseback. Most stereotypical thing you could ever see. Why is my tax dollars getting spent on that? You know, does nobody ask these questions? Like, somebody jumps in a car and drives off. You think that horse is going to catch him? I love horses. Don't get me wrong. But it's absolutely ridiculous. You know, I'm gonna go get a sign. Most nonsensical money being spent for taxes ever. Yeah. And these horses are big horses too, bro. Like, all right, look, we're bouncing at 250s. Let's see if we continue. See, BT knows already. Ridiculous. Anyways. Yeah. If it was a goat, they'd win. You know, they'd. Nasdaq's still very sideways. Yeah, I know Katie. Katie's really nice. Nice city. So John will get me there. I had a tug of war fight with my brother last weekend at the pumpkin patch. Yeah. All right, we're up to almost 260s. Yeah, I mean, look, David, I'm just not gonna. We're not gonna get into those political conversations here. You know, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. You know, we're not getting into that. The property taxes here are ridiculous too. And again, I'm very much against these property taxes. Again, property taxes, a lot of the time it's like 2% here in Texas. So if you own a $500,000 property, you're paying 10 grand a year in property taxes. You own an $800,000 property. If an old lady bought a house in 1970 and now that property is somehow appreciated to $800,000, you're gonna make that old lady come up with $16,000 a year just to keep that house? Freaking ridiculous. Why would we ever do this? And some are higher than this. Some are really, like, realistically, some are like 2.4% here. 20 grand, basically, you're gonna make that old lady come up with. You know, then we also get taxed on sales. We also get taxed on income. But the one I hate the most is property taxes. Completely unnecessary. Yeah, the Woodlands is nice. Don't get me wrong, I love the Woodlands, but every time I see a horseback riding cop, I'm you know, kind of mad. Market's not doing anything. Gold's still up to 4,075 though. Yeah, there's no state income tax. That's what it is. All right, we're at 258.50s here. 100% agree. Real. All right, gold's still pushing up here, guys. Again, I'm not really trading right now just because unless I'm going to short the top and buy the bottom here, I don't really like this. It's too, you know, sideways, choppy. So I'm ranting about property taxes, but yeah, this just doesn't look like reasonable price action to day trade right now. I got to just wait, see what we get at the open. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. Yeah, we have homestead exemptions here too. Yeah, gold back up to 4,080 here. The question is, if we do test 4,000 in gold, do you guys think it's going to hold support at 4,000? It got close to it this morning. It got, what, down to like 25? But that's kind of what I'm looking at now for gold. Like, will it hold support? I mean, for selfish reasons, I'd love for them to end income tax. But I think that will never happen. That will never, ever happen. Thoughts on the Beyond Meat squeeze? I mean, I think it's definitely squeezing. It's been kind of crazy. I heard the Pharma bro shorted it and lost money. I'm not gonna short it. I'm not gonna buy it either, though. And again, I've talked about this before. Listen, look, we're starting to move back up. Let's watch 275 up here. I have traded penny stocks before. The problem with penny stocks is this. A lot of the time, the CEOs of those companies understand that their stock is crap. Allegedly. I'm not going to say this about anybody specific anyway, though, but allegedly, look, we're pushing up to 275. A lot of the times, the CEO knows their companies are crap. And they hold a lot of the shares. And so what happens is those companies miraculously get pumped up. And then somewhere around the top, who knows when the top is in? NASDAQ's pushing here. Let me make sure there's no news. Hilton says softer international inbound to the U.S. waited on Q3 results via the conference call. Kraft Heinz said some stuff. I don't think any of this stuff is going to move markets. CMA confirms that Apple and Google have strategic market status in mobile platforms. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says rules-based trading system at risk of derailment. But yeah, so what happens with penny stocks is sometimes the CEOs don't like their company. And they can either wait until their company goes to zero, or their company can miraculously get pumped up to ridiculous numbers and then have a huge sell-off of liquidity, probably because the CEO decides to make millions doing it instead of letting their stock go to zero. And so they wait until the stock's at the peak and then they just unload it. Or it'll be another thing. If they're confident, if they want to keep their company okay, they'll sell shares at the top too. And so you get these crazy swings in penny stocks, these big moves up and big moves down. And there's just a lot of risk. They'll get halted at the top from, T1 or, volatility trading halts or circuit breaker halts. And they'll just get dumped. Everybody holding shares at the top will just get dumped on, And so there's just too much risk for me in these small markets. They're too manipulatable. Now, I think BYND is probably a little bit larger float than some of these low float penny stocks that I'm talking about. What's BYND float size? Okay, it's not. Actually, it's 62 million. It's pretty small float for BYND. There's not a lot of shares out there, which means it's highly squeezable and manipulatable. Let me make sure this is right. Oh, just now, what's the float? I'm showing 40 to 65 million float. 63.25 million. So yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that. All right, guys. Again, I'm going to say it again. I'm not against Beyond Meat. I just don't like it. How many people do you think actually buy Beyond Meat? Let's be real. Let's look at it objectively. How many people are actually interested in eating Beyond Meat meat? It's got to be a pretty small percentage of people. Vegans most of the time aren't going to mess with it. They're too health conscious, Vegetarians probably are not going to mess with it because they're too health conscious and it goes against what they believe in anyway. People that like meat aren't going to eat it. So the only people that aren't going to eat, or the only people that might eat Beyond Meat are like moral, you know, consumers. I'm not saying like people that object to eating meat for moral reasons maybe will eat it, but it's going to be such a small percentage of people, man. I don't think that business can sustain on that amount of customer base. I just don't. And I've been saying this, honestly, I've been saying this for years when Beyond Meat was much higher than where it's at now, even after the squeeze. And it's gone. If you look at Beyond Meat used to be super expensive. I just don't like it as a company. Again, if you like it, that's cool. You can tell me why. Beyond Meat used to be $2.50, $2.20 a share. And yeah, it's just not going to hold. It's too hyped. Too much hype. Not enough customers. Is Beyond Meat cheaper than actual meat? No. The Saints eat Beyond Meat. They're 0-4 cents. Hey, bro, listen. I can't even disagree with you. Saints are garbage. I think they're vying for draft picks now. You know, I think they're just vying for draft picks. They're the worst team in football right now. I don't even want to talk about the Saints. 275 rejecting here, still in this flat range. John, what do you think about Target, given the low price? I bought Target a while back. I'm already out of most of it, but I bought it at 86. It is at 95, basically, right now. But we've already scaled out of a lot of it. It's one of those swing trades. We bought Target when it was down at, like, you know, in the 80s. Somehow I got an $86.49 price. My average price is $86.49, which is about $1 away from the lows. You know? But I've liquidated a lot of it. As we move up, I usually just kind of start taking profits. I don't know where I bought Target to. I don't know. Again, with all I'm saying, I've had the Impossible Tacos at Disney World, and they were good. They were good. I liked them, honestly. I don't know what they did to them to make them taste good, but I wasn't against them. Even if they taste good, I don't think you got enough people that are willing to say, "Hey, do I want to eat real meat, or do I want to eat this, you know, Beyond Meat?" I'm just gonna go with real meat most of the time, and I think most people are gonna be like that. Still, Beyond Meat could squeeze big. It could go up 100% from where it's at now. Or it could crash tomorrow. I really don't know. Worse than the Jets? Consistently, no. This year, where are the Jets at? I haven't even been paying attention. Oh, never mind. I didn't even see the Jets. Dolphins, too. Poor Tua. You know, Josh Allen might not, you know, better beat the Patriots. Man, the Jets are 0-7. How can you be this bad? I mean, I'm a Saints fan. I can't talk, but man. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I might be from Texas, or I might live in Texas, but I'm a Louisianian, you know. It hurts to see the Saints do so poorly. LSU lost last weekend, too. I don't want to hear it. Freaking Vanderbilt. No, I don't like Verizon either. Again, I'm not trying to be too picky. There's just some companies I don't feel like. There's some sectors I don't like buying at all. Communications is one of them. Didn't AT&T have earnings and they were bad? It missed EPS and revenue. Yeah, AT&T's down big. No, 100% sauce. Yeah, go Tigers. Yes, sir, Jamie. I mean, we lost. I'm mad about it. We might not get into the playoffs now. But, that's all right. All right, so Russia is now going to legalize Bitcoin and crypto in foreign trade. Michael Saylor also said AI will want Bitcoin. Apparently, a U.S.-Malaysia trade deal at 99.9% resolved. All right, guys, 8 minutes until the market opens. We got CPI data the day after tomorrow. We got Tesla earnings this evening. We're going to stream all of this live. Bitcoin down a little bit. Gold down, for sure. 4070s for gold. We're watching that at the opening bell. Netflix missed pretty big here. And again, I talked about this earlier, but on Polymarket, 94% of people thought Netflix would beat earnings. This is why you do not gamble on earnings. Dragging the NASDAQ down. NASDAQ's red on the day. Netflix is red on the day. Nvidia's slightly green. Gold is definitely red, especially over the last 2 days. And we're heading into the opening bell. You know, we do have CPI inflation on Friday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's relevant. We'll see what happens there. Hey, thank you, friends. Appreciate it. 7 minutes left until the open bell. We'll see what we get. Hey guys, where can I buy? I'm using you guys as basically a search engine. Where can I buy a semi-rigid ankle brace? I think I might have one of these actually. I should have known that was going to be y'all's answer. Braces are us. That's it. I think I have one of these, so I retract my previous question. NASDAQ still testing 275. Nvidia is still rebounding a little bit here. Look at Nvidia on the right. It's at 180, 150s. What did the ES do? Did the ES break highs yesterday? No. We're still close to highs in the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow. I think the Dow. Dow is at 471. 47, 125, I mean. Yeah, the Dow broke highs yesterday. 47,335. Again, check out Top Step. You want to help support the channel. No PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, Gold, commodities. Very similar to day trading equities. No PDT rule. You can get started for $50 a month. If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account. You got to activate it. There's a fee for it, but it's genuinely useful for traders. Teaches you how to trade with some risk, but not paper. You know, not just no risk paper and not thousands of dollar risk that most new traders end up taking. Great way to help support the channel. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, of course, but genuinely useful. I'll put the link up again. They gave me a free XFA this morning. You'll love to see it. At this point in time, I've got 5 XFAs. 4 are activated, and then 2 are on standby. So. And again, guys, if you want to buy a course, I'm not saying that you could research and find some of these courses available for free somewhere on the internet. I'm not saying the internet's capable of that. And I would never recommend you guys Google some of these penny stock day trading courses or actual stock day trading courses or futures day trading courses and find some of them available on the internet for free. I would never tell you guys to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely don't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I actually have one of these braces that AI said I should use. I'm trying to figure out how to not wear the boot. We're down to 264s right now, 263s. We're at 259.50s right now. Opening bell in 3 minutes. Good luck today, guys. Let's try to make some money. We'll see what happens. We've made money most of this week so far, I think. Oh, is the disclaimer still up? My bad, guys. My apologies. There you go. I'll fix it. All right, guys. We got 2 minutes left. Netflix just cracked lows again, down to 1140s right now, right before the opening bell in a minute and a half. Yeah, good luck, guys. I'll day trade some. We'll stick around and day trade some. Oh, all right. Hats off, guys. Ugh. I gotta try to make some money today. Hey, nice, Corey. Hey, good job, brother. Hey, guys, about 45 seconds until the opening bell. Where's oil at? I haven't even looked at oil this morning. Oil's up. It looked cheap down there, you know. Hey, thank you, Tony. Yeah, we'll be live for Tesla earnings. All right, here's the opening bell. All right, guys, there's the open. I'm watching Nvidia. Specifically, I'm watching Netflix and I'm watching gold today at the opening bell. There's probably a bunch of other stuff we could watch as well. But look at the Nasdaq fall. This is not, maybe this is Apple? What's driving this? Not Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Google, AMD. No, none of those. Dollar index falling down. Look at this red at the open, guys. Wow. Netflix just cracked lows. Could be that. Red candles at the opening bell, guys. Wow. Big red at the open. Still too early for me to take any positions, though. Nvidia fighting its way back up here. We're so close to the lows, I don't like a long, but it might rebound. I don't know. Amazon is dropping? Yeah, I mean, Amazon Web had those issues. But it's not really... I mean, it's down on the day for sure. I will short a bounce here if we get one. I need about another minute, though. It might not... I might not catch it because I need to wait a little bit longer. I don't hate a bounce right here, though, but it's already kind of too late. I don't hate shorting a larger bounce. Is what I mean. Because that's a big red candle at the open, but... I need a larger one. Alright, we're going to try one. It's risky for sure. I'll add a little bit to it and see if we can catch something. Alright, there's a drop. I want to see if Netflix cracks lows, drags the NASDAQ down. There it goes. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna cut that right there. Yeah, I mean, Netflix cracked lows. It retraced back up, so we got out quick. I still think it might crack lows again, just based off of... It depends on what Netflix, though. If Netflix is big... Look at the range for Netflix. So Netflix has this opening range right here. You know? Nvidia just broke down. Look at this. Nvidia cracking down here. Nvidia's still falling. Netflix bouncing back a little bit, but it still looks weak on the NQ. Yeah, we're gonna do Tesla earnings, Rodrigo. Yeah, there's the NASDAQ cracking lows. Watch 185s right here. See if I can buy this dip at 185s if we get down there. It's risky. Don't copy me, guys. Not an investment professional. I'm very green on the day, so I can do this, you know. And I'm gonna cut some of this here. It looks heavy. We got the bounce right on 185s too. I just got in a little bit too late. It dipped down there pretty quick though. It was hard to catch. I'll leave it here. I mean, we're green now. That looks deep. I'm gonna cut that right here. Still green on the day. Right now we're breaking down underneath it. If we retrace back up, we could. It looks heavy though, but it's also kind of extended now, I think. So I'm just waiting. I'm catching the bounce on a different account. I don't have time to pull it up. I'm kind of liquidating the position now. Alright, I'll put the rest of this up. I don't know which account it is. There it is. Look at that. Alright, we're going to cut it right here at the top. I don't know. First move can sometimes be the wrong move. That's true. But this is a steep move here. You know what I mean? Like, first move can be the wrong move if we're like this, and then we rebound and go back up. But when it's a really steep move, there's a chance it comes back. But it's less likely we're going to do a complete like V-shape back up, if that makes sense, right? So in that context, I like looking for a bounce and then riding the same trend downward. Does that make sense? Like if it's too steep of a move, it's less likely that we're going to rebound back from it. We got essentially we have like a longer range to fight back up to for a reversal, you know. Yeah, Beyond Meat halted on the downside at 5:39. It looks like it was halted at, I don't know what time was it, 8:34, 9:34 market time, so 3 minutes ago. It should resume at 40 or 39. Yeah, BYND halted. Yeah, it halted because it was dropping for BYND. Gold's pushing back up, almost back up to 4,100. Apple analyst says Apple stock looks expensive. KeyBank Capital Markets analyst Brandon Nispel said it kept a sector weight rating on Apple, saying its valuation looks stretched. Yeah, Beyond Meat still halted. It should resume sometime in the next minute or two. I'll watch it. We'll see what happens. Gold back up to almost 4,100. I'm curious to see what happens with this. That's a pretty big correction and then halt. Remember what I said this morning too. All right, it's back. Beyond Meat is back. It could either squeeze up big now or it could go down more and get halted again. And let's see. Back up to 550s. Alright, I'm gonna try shorting 225 if we can get it. This might be news related though. Actually, no, that's a big green candle. I don't want to mess with that. Let me see what's going on with this. Man, the algo again, dude. Look at my algorithm here. Here. Here's Beyond Meat on the right. Netflix is starting to fight its way back up. I'm gonna short right here, I think. I missed it. I might add a little bit more at the top, but I'll add one more to it. Two. There we go. Take half off there. Let the rest go break even or so. Out. Lost a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance it comes back up there. Just because it's extended doesn't mean it doesn't want to. And the closer we get to it, the more likely it is that we go up. Again, I'm watching 250 here. This has been a support level right here. So I want to see, like, if we get over that, then maybe we do like a V-shaped recovery. It's all probabilities. All right, guys, we got Tesla earnings today too, man. Meta, Apple. Yeah, I want to see us over 250. I don't know if we're going to get it. Beyond Meat halted now on the upside. It got halted at 841. It's now 843 almost. Still couldn't get over 250. Again, I'm curious to see what Beyond Meat does when it resumes. Yeah, halted again. All right, here's 250. Also the 200 exponential. All right, we're at 250s now. And when does this resume? It got halted at 41. It's now 44. So this has 2 more minutes left if it's a 5-minute halt, like most of the time they are. Netflix still kind of sideways. But yeah, look, now we're over 250. We're testing the 200 exponential. So see what happens. Yeah, I mean, penny stocks do this, Eli. This is just what happens with them. All right, now we're fighting all the way back up. Netflix is rebounded back up. I was thinking of buying the dip earlier. Maybe I should have. See, if we get a retracement, I'll buy it. Like, if we get a pullback now to 250, I'll buy it. But I got to wait for it. A little early, but that's all right. We'll add to it. All right, there. Off as soon as it rebounded back up there. Let's take another piece off. Hold on the rest. Uses 247s or so as a stop loss. If we get stubborn at this 250 level at the 200 exponential right below us. Netflix earnings were bad. It's still not resumed. All right, there we go. We added 2 more to this, and now we're in 2. If we bounce back up here. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna cut that now as soon as it drops. It might rebound back up, but it's just not worth it. We're green on all the funded accounts we've traded today too, but once that dip happens, we get bought up. But I'm gonna get out as soon as it shows weakness. Did get bought up. Still, Netflix is struggling to hold. Beyond Meat's back up. It's at 620s. Yeah, Nvidia's trying to. Alright, if we crack this low, I'll short again. But this low, I mean, right? Stubborn level right here. Look at the pullback in Netflix. Beyond Meat's still down under 6. I'm still sitting tight here waiting, guys. Video up. I will short if we get a big enough bounce, but I need a large enough bounce to short into. Where this bounce to 250 happens. 2. Leave it in 3. Eesh, that's a big push. What happens though? Alright, I'm gonna liquidate but at least a third of this just based off of how fast. Yeah, I'm just getting stuck in the chop. I'm slightly red on the day now on this account, but I'm green in another one. We're actually net green. If you add both of them up, we're positive. But no bueno, you know. Isn't Nvidia mostly ripping up here? Maybe could have waited a little bit for it, but again, this is mostly Nvidia ripping up. It looks like Nvidia looks strong. Netflix is coming down a little bit though, but yeah, we did take some positions in a different one. I gotta figure out where it is. I think it's this one. We're up really nicely, and this is our new funded account. We'll let the rest ride. We're long. 275 or so up there. Maybe add a little bit more to it. We're up over 100 in this one now, but we're starting to chop sideways, unfortunately. Here we go. Here we go. I cut it right there. Yeah, so one account we're up about 130, another account we're up, or we're down like $20, and then another account we're green on in that one as well. And we're green on all 4 of our funded accounts, which is nice. I mean, I'm green on 2 out of 3 funded accounts today. And if we add all of the losses and wins up, we're net positive for sure. The only losing account we have is a $20-something loss. And we're up, you know, hundreds outside of that. So we're green. It might not be my best day, but we're green nonetheless here. Nvidia just flying up back up to 183s. BYND dumping down to 6s. But yeah, I might get out of here though, guys, a little bit early. I got a couple things I gotta do today, and then we got Tesla earnings later. So again, check out Top Step if you want to help support the channel. No PDT rule. They did a great job of making it right. Got a free XFA that we're now up on. That's nice. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, but they're genuinely useful. It's a great way to learn how to day trade when most day traders lose money. It's $50 a month for the base. When you pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split, which is similar to funding your own account. If you fail, you lose $50. So it's the best of both worlds. Teaches you how to trade with risk. Beautiful way to learn, and the best in the game. I'll put the link up. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, of course, but genuinely useful. There's the link one more time. Also, as soon as we close this stream down, it's immediately going to bring you to Tesla stream. Yeah, we got Tesla Q3 earnings today. Tesla Q3. Hey, yeah, appreciate it, guys. Let's hope I get my brace off today. I'm pretty sure I will, but I don't know for sure. I hope we do. Let's hope we get my brace off. Sorry, guys. Scheduling the stream now. But yeah, as soon as we close the stream, it'll bring you to the Tesla stream, which is going to be at about 4 p.m. Nasdaq still ripping up here. Oh. Hey, thank you, Tiny. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys. So listen, as soon as we close this stream, it's going to bring you to... It's going to bring you to tomorrow, or it's going to bring you to this afternoon stream. So stick around. You'll be able to go to the Tesla stream once we close this one. Yeah. I'll see you guys over there. Y'all be safe. Again, be careful in this market. Yeah, again, I haven't closed the stream yet. I'm still here. Sorry, I gotta do one more thing. But yeah, we're getting there. All right, guys. We close this stream. It's gonna bring you there. I'll see you guys over on the new stream. Good luck. I'll see you guys in a few hours. Y'all be safe.